Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you so much, and thank you for your service to the people of Maine, which has been remarkable, faithful, persistent. Hey, how are you? A lot of familiar faces here. This is good. This past June, on a hot summer day, a woman named Tara was watering her flowers on the grounds of a hotel in Kennebunkport as she talked about the found community that has given her and 14 other people a true lifeline. She is the beneficiary of Raising People Up, a program at Nonantum Resort, started 5 years ago. Nonantum has offered meaningful work to people like Tara who are in recovery and who are recently released from incarceration. But a paycheck is not the most important part. The important thing is the connection and the culture of community that keeps Tara on track. As she puts it, quote, "It's just the constant positivity. And how can you not stay in a good mood and stay happy?" she said. It's often said that health is more than just the absence of pain. Well, happiness, too, depends on more than the absence of sadness. It is human connections that build hope, that honor progress, and that inspire change in each of us to reach our full potential. 8 years ago, our connections with each other were undermined by the widespread belief that people who were addicted to substances were just somebody else's responsibility. As Attorney General, I witnessed firsthand Maine's slide into addiction. For years, we watched as more people fell into the allure of drugs and substances. We watched as members of law enforcement faced a growing public health crisis, with handcuffs being their only tool. And we watched as state government agencies operated in silos, seemingly incapable of confronting the crisis or even talking with each other about it. All the while, Maine people in every neighborhood, in every community, who were struggling with substance use bore the stigma and the blame, even as they were losing their lives to it. In the 5 years preceding 2019, more than 1,600 people in Maine died from drug overdose. We were losing one person a day. About 8% of all babies in Maine were born substance exposed, 3 a day. The life-saving drug naloxone was not readily available. There were few treatment beds in Maine, and when somebody was ready to get into recovery, even fewer treatment options existed because you didn't have health insurance. We began to see that the opioid epidemic was not a white-collar or a blue-collar problem. It was not a rural problem or an urban problem or a suburban problem. It knew no boundaries, no zip codes, no tax status. It knew no age limits. So when I became governor, I knew that what Maine had been doing for so many years just wasn't working. I knew we needed to break down the silos of state government and set aside the stigma, speak out about every aspect of this opioid epidemic. I promised that we would put the full force of my administration behind the families who lost loved ones, the businesses who lost employees, the communities that had been diminished by this public health crisis. So my very first executive order, signed my first day in office, fulfilled the will of the people and expanded Maine Care to more than 90,000 people. And today, about 40,000 people receive treatment for substance use disorder through Maine Care. And thank you, Michelle Probert, for your insights and information about the hope of Maine Care. Many of these people and thousands others now may lose their health insurance because of the new rules, new restrictions, and paperwork required by H.R. 1, which Congress enacted last summer, as you know, along party lines. By the way, while Maine is poised to receive $190 million through the new federal Rural Health Transformation Program, and why we will use some of those funds to hire recovery coaches in more hospitals, that money still pales in comparison to the billions in healthcare funds Maine is set to lose over the next 10 years. Let's not forget that. Expanding health insurance was a critical first step to confronting the opioid crisis. Then, right after issuing Executive Order 1, I appointed Gordon Smith as Maine's Director of Opioids Response to be my eyes and ears on the ground, talking with people all over the state. Where's Gordon? Where'd he go? Talking with people all over the state to figure out how we could save lives, renew our economy, and show that we care and rebuild communities. Thank you, Gordon. I also want to acknowledge the work of the woman who led my Office of Policy, Innovation in the Future, that supervised, to the extent it was possible, supervised Gordon and the opioid response team for 6.5 years. Former Speaker of the House, Hannah Pingree, I think she's here somewhere. And her successor, Sarah Curran. Thank you, Hannah, for your continuing leadership in this area. My second executive order encapsulated 4 basic strategies with specific action steps. The first, establishing a prevention and recovery cabinet made up of commissioners from 14 different government agencies, the Attorney General's office, and the judicial branch. Then we outlined steps to prevent overdoses and deaths, including making naloxone widely available statewide. I'm proud to say, since early 2019, we have distributed more than 870,000 doses of naloxone, saving thousands of lives. Some days I think back about how my predecessor treated this issue. How he used to say so dismissively, naloxone doesn't save lives, it just extends lives. It doesn't save lives. As he was saying this, I was driving around the state as Attorney General handing out naloxone, bought with pharmaceutical settlement funds, to every police department that would take it. We then outlined steps to expand effective treatment and recovery efforts, including medication-assisted treatment in the criminal justice system. We trained 250 recovery coaches, and we funded recovery coaches in 10 emergency departments. Today, nearly 1,000 people in our prisons and 1,100 people in the jails are getting medication they need to begin the path of recovery, not relapse, not reoffend. As a result, our recidivism rate is down statewide and our communities are safer. People are more whole, they're finding productive lives. We've now trained more than 4,000 people as recovery coaches. Yeah. We've funded coaches in 10 emergency departments and more to go. And we've increased the number of certified recovery residences from 11 to 119. We've created a recovery coaching for youth program for schools in Hancock and Washington counties, creating those peer-to-peer connections that give a young person the sense of community and care, the hope to face the future that they need. We also established the Cumberland County Crisis Receiving Center, you know as the Living Room, to provide walk-in services for anyone with a mental health or substance use crisis. And since that center opened, more than 3,300 people have gotten help there. Pretty successful. Crisis receiving centers work, which is why we're opening more of them in Androscoggin and Penobscot counties. We've expanded behavioral health clinics, which offer mental health and substance use treatment to anyone, regardless of ability to pay, insurance, or where they live. And today, 21 clinics are helping more than 13,000 people all across the state of Maine. We've added 68 residential treatment beds since I've taken office, including 20 detox beds. And statewide, there are more than 600 treatment beds, and new ones are opening up every day. I think there's this myth out there that there aren't any treatment beds. Well, they are there. The VA has just opened a new treatment facility for veterans at Togus, and something called New Leash on Life Recovery and Rescue has opened up for women in recovery who want to keep their dogs with them. I think that's important. Executive Order number 2 also directed Gordon Smith to create targeted prevention programs in schools, workplace, and community organizations to prevent opioid abuse. So now, for instance, at Wyndham Middle School, 7th graders are learning about opioids from law enforcement and UNE pharmacy students and from people in recovery. They created 2 newspapers and they dated them 2055. One is focused on a future where their generation has solved the crisis, and another one, a darker one, where they did not. They're learning that they have a choice and a chance to change things in the future. We're offering educational programs as an alternative to punishment, bringing students, parents, and school officials together to intervene early when a child shows up with substance abuse disorder. We expanded school-based health centers that provide critical health screenings for thousands of students. We've held statewide trainings like the Maine Youth Action Network, the Youth Leadership Conference, which taught more than 400 people how to create positive change in their communities and in their lives. We supported 94 schools in 14 counties as they implemented the very successful BAR program to look at risky behaviors and address them one-on-one. And we worked with the Maine Recovery Action Project to develop a youth naloxone curriculum to train young people on the signs of overdose and how to administer naloxone. Our Options program has placed mobile response teams in each county to work with law enforcement and connect people directly to recovery services and treatment. You remember Operation Hope, and this is an extension of that, how the police departments threw their full weight behind these recovery efforts and getting people into help and not just into jail. So, 2 years ago, one of our Options liaisons in Aroostook County, Justin Martin, helped a family get medication and treatment for substance use disorder. The couple said, quote, "We've been through all of it and get to enjoy everyday things now because we got into recovery and continue every day. We've been there now for our babies since day one because we chose recovery and happiness," end quote. We've created treatmentconnection.com, a one-stop shop for people seeking treatment. And so they can get to know what behavioral health services are available in real time among more than 500 providers on the list. Since that went live in 2025, Treatment Connection has been used 8,000 times. So critical. And trained crisis support specialists answered more than 150,000 calls and texts through the 988 crisis hotline over the past year. 150,000. Including more than 1,100 directly related to substance use. We've taken many other steps as the approach to addiction has evolved. That includes the Home for Good program, providing cost-effective, stable housing along with wraparound services to address homelessness and substance use with proven success. The first 8 Home for Good developments will serve 230 people with medical and behavioral health services on site. We're also increasing good-paying jobs for people in recovery. You know, rewarding businesses who understand the unique experiences and skills of people in recovery is important. So we created the Recovery Friendly Workplaces designation, a certification now held by 86 businesses who employ nearly 25,000 people statewide. One of the earliest of those recovery-friendly workplaces was the Nonantum Resort I mentioned before, where the woman I spoke about earlier, Tara, works and where she has found a culture of community. My administration is doing what it can in a responsible manner to stop deadly drugs from reaching Maine, to prevent substance use disorder in the first place, to treat it when we can't prevent it, to set people on a lifelong path to recovery, and above all else, to save lives and allow people to achieve their full potential in a caring and welcoming state. And our work is paying off. From January to June of this year, fatal overdoses decreased by nearly 9% in Maine. Thank God. This is the 4th consecutive year of declining overdose deaths. In 2024, we recorded the lowest number of substance-exposed infants since tracking began in 2012. Still, the threat looms. People are losing hope. Some people are dying. And we have to acknowledge that every overdose death is a tragic and, I believe, preventable loss of a valued life. Over the past 7.5 years, these summits have focused on turning the tide after an epidemic of deadly overdoses, on ending the stigma surrounding addiction, and on persevering through the isolation and loneliness of a worldwide pandemic, on finding creative solutions to entrenched problems. In our most difficult moments, we turned despair into resolve, solitude into strength, complacency into courage. Because of you, your dedication, your unshakable faith in the future and in the worth of every human being, the future is looking better. And to people across the state of Maine, including the 1,000 people gathered here today, and those watching at home live stream, I ask all of you to recommit to preventing addiction in the first place, to supporting people as they start, stumble, or resume their recovery, and to reinforcing this important relationship, the relationships you're building here and in communities across Maine. For it is those relationships that save lives. While you won't see me on this platform next year, I will say that one of the best parts of this job has been working with folks like you and people like Courtney Gary Allen, people who helped us see the reality of reentry and recovery. We don't always agree on solutions, but we know we have to keep talking, and that's how we make progress. I will miss working with legislators like Holly Stover, who answers those calls in the middle of the night and gets people help, one-on-one relationship building. People like Noah Nesson and Eric Steele, the 1,000 Lives program, doctors who put their whole hearts behind saving people's lives and saving people from lifelong addiction. And from these gatherings, I have felt your commitment to eliminating addiction, not giving up during the most trying of times, widening our state's understanding of recovery, and fighting for change and a deeper sense of community, always being present for others. And then when I get letters from a parent, for instance, whose child has come home again, healed and hopeful, on the road to recovery, well, that makes this difficult job worthwhile. So don't ever give up. Make sure that the next person who occupies the Blaine House appreciates all that we've been working on together for so long. Keep up the good work, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you all. You're the team that makes it worthwhile. Thank you. Now look, one of my most treasured moments as governor is being able to recognize individuals who've made meaningful contributions to our opioid response efforts. Well, I'm really sorry we lost Robbie Moulton of Scarborough. He's no longer with us. I do want to welcome some other folks who've received awards in the past for their work on opioid prevention and treatment. So I'm going to ask Shelley and David Jankowski, Scott Party, Peter Brun, Marcella Sorg, Leslie Clark, and Danielle Farino, all past award winners. Please join me on stage. Those are the two. Oh, it's good to see you all. And now to receive this year's awards, I want to invite Dr. Ronald Springill and Pat Kimball to please join me. Where is she?
She's
on her way.
On her way. You did leave some big numbers.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you, my friend.
Congratulations.
I'll start by saying, since January 2019, there's been no stronger, steadier champion of Maine's opioid response than Dr. Ronald Springill of Scarborough. A retired physician, he started as an unpaid volunteer coordinator and ultimately became the executive director of the Maine Association of Recovery Residences, a state affiliate of the National Alliance of Recovery Residences. You know, 8 years ago, Maine had no certified recovery residences. Today, we have 119 such homes, including at least one in each county, at least one. This growth is remarkable, and it's a remarkable achievement. It's due in no small part to his leadership and unwavering support of people in recovery. In long-term recovery himself, he serves as a beacon to people who are working hard every day to maintain a life of sobriety and recovery. In recognition of this extraordinary service to Maine and to our residents, it is my pleasure to award the first of our 2026 recognition awards to Dr. Ronald Springill of Scarborough. Say something? It's up to you.
Thank you, Governor Mills. This is an award that belongs to many. Many of you are sitting here, especially my staff over on the left. But none of this would be possible without her leadership and the brilliant insight to appoint Gordon Smith as the Director of Opioid Response, and all of the work that's done by options liaisons, the harm reduction people, MERAP, there's so many, but it started with an election, and it had consequences. In this case, consequences were thousands of people's lives were changed and saved.
I'm proud to present the second recognition award this year to my friend Pat Kimball of Herman. Yeah. Everybody knows her. In 2016, she allegedly retired after 15 years of leading Wellspring, Maine, a Bangor-based nonprofit with a long history of providing services to support people in recovery. But as Pat told a news outlet at the time of her alleged retirement, quote, "I could never just walk away from this work. I will just use another path." And that she has done. That path included being appointed by Attorney General Fry to the Maine Recovery Council, and then being elected chair of the council the first 4 years of its existence. As the chair, she has steadfastly led the council as it took responsibility for allocating 1/2 of the state's opioid settlement funds. In recognition of her lifetime of work advocating for those struggling with substance use disorder and their families, I proudly present this award to Pat Kimball of Herman.
I am truly overwhelmed. I'm going to try to say something. First of all, to get this award from one of my heroes, who was absolutely, when we were at our worst, came forward and put what needed to happen to put the opiate crisis in a place of importance and a priority, and she saved lives, along with her cohort, Gordon. I cannot tell you, I'm overwhelmed. The other thing I want to tell you, the significance of today. Today, in 1967, my dad walked into his first AA meeting. This is my dad's anniversary. And my dad would be so proud. He not only walked into that meeting and never looked back and went into recovery, but our family also has had that same opportunity. All of you in the audience that I have worked with over the years, I love you all. I love this work. It's never ending. I do retire, but again, there's always a path. But I cannot thank you all enough for giving me the privilege of doing this work. Thank you.
We love you, Pat. So familiar. Well, on behalf of the 1.4 million people of the state of Maine, I want to express my deep gratitude to these people, all these people on the stage. Now I'll turn things over to our Director of Opioid Response, your esteemed MC, Gordon Smith. But before I do that, I just have one little thing for you, Gordon. Somewhere. Thank you. We talk a lot about executive orders, and they're just pieces of paper, of course. Executive orders have only the meaning that the words describe and only the value of the people who implement them and carry them out. But Executive Order 2, it's been special. To me, to my staff, to my cabinet, and to the state of Maine. And so I want to present Gordon, who's responsible for all this work, with a limited edition signed copy of Executive Order 2 with a little inscription for you. Thank you, my friend. Now you can take over.